Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Shudder Slaughterhouse. I'm Daniel. And another week, another small batch of things I watched right there on Shudder. So let's get into it, shall we? Uh, do we have to on this one? I know I'm already setting the tone for what this review is going to be like. The first movie I watched is called Dead and Beautiful. Came out this year, and it's a co-production. It's like Dutch and Taiwan, I believe. And it's a Shudder original. The basic plot of it is it's these rich fucking, like the one percenters. Like, I don't know, they're not teenagers, but they're like young adults who become vampires. And anyway, it starts to they start turning on each other and everything else. That's the basic gist of it if you watch the trailer. The first thing I want to tell you right now is it has a horror coding. Like, when you look at it from the outside, you're like, yeah, okay, I guess that's horror. It's really not. It's teenage melodrama. Seriously, I'm not trying to talk shit about it, but it really is kind of like a Twilight in a way. Like, Twilight feels like in the same vein where it's just like, yeah, it's vampires and werewolves, but it's also a whiny fucking girl crying the whole... What is there, like 5 movies of that shit? Anyway, so it's kind of the same thing, which is unfortunate because honestly, sorry, Delta variant, it starts off kind of promising. Like, it reminded me almost like a international Lost Boys. And that's what I was hoping for anyways. Like, as it started off, I was like, oh wow, this may be pretty cool actually. And then, I don't know, you realize you're about halfway through and nothing's really happening. And then the last, I don't know, half hour or so, there's just so many like convoluted plot twists. And when you start putting them together, it's just like, really? I don't know. I wasn't huge on this at all. The Shudder community gave this thing 3 out of 5 skulls. I'm giving it 2 out of 5. I will say, the reason it's not getting a 1 is because I dug the look of it. And again, it had an interesting premise starting off. It just kind of fumbles it from there. And like I said, by the time you get to the end, you're just like, I don't give a shit. Like, I wasn't big on this. But Dead and Beautiful. One of these. Get one of those. Up next, I watched the second episode of Behind the Monsters. New TV series that came out this year. It's a Shudder original series. Every episode, they kind of do a deep dive on a horror icon. But like more about the impact it had on society. Like, not just the actual, hey, here's the horror. Like the legacy. Like the impact it had on culture in general. And this week was Candyman, which I was pumped for because honestly, I wasn't huge on the Candyman trilogy. I think the first one's okay. I'm in the minority there. I know everybody loves the Candyman. I think it's okay. I much rather preferred the remake. Come at me. 2 and 3 was just... I feel like the 2 and 3 had good concepts. Just horrible execution. I don't know. 1, I just could never get into. I tried. I really did. Now, when I watch it now, I'm just like, I don't know. It's unique. It's a little different. I think my problem was when I watched it, I was expecting it to be a slasher film. Like, I really was expecting it to be... Because I remember I kept talking about the Candyman. I was like, oh my god, Candyman's awesome. I'm like, awesome. He's going to be like another Freddy or Jason. And it's really not. And I guess I can respect it because it's not. Like, I don't know. It's not the movie I thought it was going to be, and that's probably why I'm disappointed with it. But I could never get into it. But I loved the remake. When the remake came out, I was pumped for it. And I was like, oh my god. Like, I don't know. I just think the remake's like head and shoulders better over the original. Sorry, I know I'm going to be in the minority of that as well. However, I didn't know much about, I don't know, what went into the Candyman. I had the first DVD a long time ago, and I think I may have watched it had like one featurette on it or something like that. But I didn't know much about it. So this was really kind of fascinating. And not just that, but it's kind of fun to hear him finally talk about 2 and 3, because I've only seen them on TV or on streaming. I've never actually, bought the DVDs for those because they're shit. And so it was really interesting to kind of hear him talk about that as well. But yeah, Behind the Monsters, people here at Shudder or at the Shudder community give it 5 out of 5 skulls. I'm gonna go 4 out of 5, but still a solid watch. And this is my pick of the week. Actually, I'm going with the Candyman Behind the Monsters episode. So check it out. Highly recommend it. And finally, we're gonna go with a thriller. This is Wait Until Dark, 1967, about a blind girl who is at an apartment alone, and 3 criminals decide to come in because they think there may be a doll there. A doll filled with heroin. And so that's kind of the basic outline here. I'm a big fan of Wait Until Dark. In fact, I actually watched it. The first time I watched it at my old job, me and my friends were constantly trading DVDs. Thing is, I was the only horror guy there. I think even up until the end, like when I left, I was still like the only horror guy. Like these were like drama guys, adventure, Star Wars, pew pew kind of guys. But they weren't into horror. But struck up friendship with them, and we became really good friends there. And anyways, for Christmas one year, a friend of mine got me Wait Until Dark. I think because he heard it's critically acclaimed, and in fact it wasn't really a horror film; it's a thriller. I think it's kind of why he was just like, "Oh yeah, you'll like this." But anyways, he bought it for me. I watched it, and I really liked it. I thought it was really good. It's based on a play. I didn't realize this. I didn't do any research on this at all until just before I came out. Talk to you guys. And it's actually based on a play, which makes a lot of sense because this thing is pretty wordy. Lots of just kind of sitting around talking kind of stuff. But it works for this film. Big thing I love about this is I think Audrey Hepburn does a great job in this. But man, for me, Alan Arkin just steals this fucking movie. I love him in this thing. Who is Alan Arkin? Like, I did not know who this guy was until 2006 when I watched Little Miss Sunshine. That's the first time I ever saw Alan Arkin. I've seen him pop up in several things since then. He was in fucking boxing, the Grudge Match. That it with Stallone and De Niro. He was in that, and I've seen him in a handful of other things, like whatever the one where him and the other old guys like decide to rob a bank. It's him and Freeman and Kane, I think. Same thing, like but I didn't know who this guy was. So when I first watched it, I was like, oh my god, like this dude's young. And I'm thinking like, I know he had to do some shit between Wait Till Dark and Little Miss Sunshine, but I don't know this damn thing this guy's done. I'm not looking it up either. Fuck it. I want this dark. I want this hazy dark period here to be just completely unknown to me. And I'll be watching random movie from like the 80s. I'm like, holy crap, Alan Arkin. Anyways, sorry, I went to the weeds for no reason on that one. Anyways, Alan Arkin just kills it in this movie. I love his performance. I think his character is truly crazy. Like he's psychotic. I love that. And then it has I can never think of the guy's name. Richard Crenna, is that how you pronounce it? Fucking Rambo. He's and Hot Shots. He's the military major guy from those movies. He was also in what was the ghost movie he was in? Was it Hell House or Haunting of Hill? I don't know. He was on something. Legend of Hell House or Hill House. It was something like that. But he was in one of those movies too. But like I just know him from Rambo. But it's cool to see him in this thing too. No, this is really good stuff. And it's really interesting when you go back because it's not the first thriller, obviously, and it's not the first one to employ like jump scares, but like this is a big mainstream movie. This is Warner Bros. This is Audrey Hepburn, like the only thing she's ever done. Like people call it horror, but it's nice thriller. But it's on the fringe. It's the only thing she's ever done on the fringe. So this is like the most mainstream thing ever, and like people were like jumping in theaters. Like I won't say anything, but there's like one jump scare that got everybody. And in fact, I remember a few years ago, Bravo, which. Fucking Bravo. But anyways, they had a top 100 scariest movie moments. It was like a 5-part miniseries. They used to have it on an old like VHS tape. And unfortunately, I think it's gone to history now. But this was like in the top 10 if I'm not mistaken. Like scariest movie moments. Because it is like it's a lighthearted thriller. Fluffy. It's fluffy for sure. But comes out of nowhere at the end there, and it's good stuff. People at Shudder gave this thing. I think they gave 5. Yeah, they gave 5 out of 5 skulls. I want to give it 4. I'm pretty sure I think I wrote down 3. I just feel like it's one of those movies that I don't watch a lot. Like I'll recognize that it's a classic, but to me, it almost has no rewatch value. I watched it when I first got the DVD. I think I watched it a few years. Like I first got the DVD like in '06, I think, '06 or '07. But then I watched it maybe I don't know 10 years ago, and I just watched it now. So I feel like I don't know. I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5. I'm sorry, I'll keep my 3 out of 5. What I originally was gonna think. I just feel like it's a good movie, but I just don't think I'd watch it again. Like I may not watch it again the rest of my life. It's not a bad thing. I'm not saying anything bad about this movie. I'm just saying me personally, I wouldn't put up there like The Shining, where I can watch that like any fucking time. Halloween, Not Living Dead. Like these are movies I can watch over and over and over. I don't think Wait Until Dark has that, so I'm gonna drop it one. So I'm gonna say 3 out of 5, but that's all I got. But yo, what did you guys think about these? Have you seen these yet? Have you watched them? Dead and Beautiful, Behind the Monsters, Candyman episode, yeah, and then Wait Till Dark, good stuff. So if you guys have seen these, let me know what you guys got tongue tied there. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. That's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.